Today, we're taking a look at TAN 2. The new update for the free VCA compressor from Acustica Audio. Lower CPU usage, oversampling, and a much more refined sound to it. All right. Now, today, I'm going to do this a little different than how we usually do it. I got a little something here. It's not even a complete track. I don't even have any drums with this thing yet. I literally, seconds before we started the stream, I laid some vocal parts down because I do know it's important to see what it sounds like with vocals. All right. So what we're going to actually do is I want to compare TAN, the original TAN, with the new TAN. And I want you to hear the difference in how the compression sounds, right? And then I also want you to take a look at the CPU so you can see just how much of a difference that makes. All right, so let's get down to business here. All right, now I see here that we have just one instance of TAN. What did I put that on? That is on the bass. Don't think I put it on. Yeah, I didn't. Okay, so let me do a little bit of organizing here. And I'm gonna, because I didn't do this on the lower mixer. And I may even record some parts in here as well. Just for old time's sake. All right, so let us take a look at the actual plugin itself. So this is TAN 2, right? And I'm actually going to pull up, save. I'm going to pull up the original TAN. There's a slight difference in the interface. One, as you can see, it's resizable, right? So that's a plus. A lot of people really been wanting that from acoustic audio plugins for some time now. And now we have it. And don't be a stranger in the chat. I'm using the new OBS 28 so I can actually see when people respond here. All right. So going back here, let's see. All right. So the biggest difference between the two, is it hiding behind it? Where did the other one go? That's TAN 2. TAN 1 back up here. So again, the interface has changed. It's a little more refined looking. I kind of like how the new knobs look as opposed to the older ones. Oh, I know why this thing keeps disappearing. Okay. All right. Under the meter here, we have a number of configuration options, I would call them. Not necessarily presets, because those are here, and we'll go through a few of those a little later. But under here, we have the original TAN. In other words, the same innards that's in this TAN is located here. Kind of, I don't want to say backwards compatibility, but if you like the original TAN, you can use this instead. And then, of course, the new TAN has what's called Hyper TAN. Now, this is their hyper compression technology that they're introducing. And when I play it, you'll hear the difference in how it sounds. It's more, it's kind of hard to put in words. The best way I can describe it is that the original TAN was super grabby and not necessarily always in a pleasing way. The new TAN 2, and when I say pleasing, I mean it didn't necessarily work on a lot of sources. But the new TAN is a lot more refined sounding. So you have Hyper TAN, you have the oversampling, which is the 1X and the 4X that you're seeing here, right? Now, I did not read anything on what Hyper TAN AA is. Matter of fact, I don't even think I even tried to research that, but that's an option in here. The double tan for each one of these, this has an additional 2x oversampling, and I believe the reason being is this has the stereo link option. So therefore you can get compression, different compression effects on the left and the right. Okay. So you can see where you can change that at. Other than that, it's pretty much the same plug-in outside of this high pass filter, which is very useful. So that way you don't necessarily have to squash all of your low end information. It can just, excuse me, compress the upper portion of the spectrum. Okay, so let me see what we have here. And mind you, I've only dabbled with this thing once. When it came out yesterday, I was on my way to my day job. So it was like, I didn't get a chance to really do much. So some of this will be a surprise to me as well. Now I don't have any drums on here, so we're going to program some drums in a few, but I want to start with how the CPU has changed, right? So let me cut both of these off. I think I have any other plugins loaded aside from the virtual instruments for the music. So right now I'm going to engage TAN. So I want you to focus here, right? In fact, we'll put it right here. Nope, we won't put it right there. We'll put it right where we had it. So let's focus on the and I believe it's the Agio guard, or if you would prefer, and let me preface this. I just updated Cubase 12 because one of the things that you got with that was fire the clip. And I had wanted to update the Cubase 12 for a minute. So I've had a couple of crashes thus far. So if it crashes, just bear with me. I'll get it right back up. But down here, you can see that this is the load on the CPU, right? So it in and of itself is kind of similar to where it says Agio guard here. All right. So as I engage plugins, you'll see this move here. As a matter of fact, let's get a raw output here. See here, VST instruments. Go in here, and I'm just going to turn off all of the instruments that we used here. That way, let's see if we can get a. All right, so that's much more simpler. Okay, so turning on the original TAN with the preamp engaged. See how much CPU. Now this doesn't read out the actual percentage, but you can see if we cut this 1, 2, 3, 4, you can imagine this is 25, 50, 75%, and this is 100. So it's a little under half of 25. So maybe like 11%. Don't quote me on that, but that's the original TAN, right? So that's what we're getting out of that. Now with the new TAN, and let me put this on 1x. Let's start there. Engage that. And you can see it's a much smaller footprint. Much smaller footprint. That's without the oversampling, right? So if we engage the HyperTAN with 4x oversampling, this is what we get. So now it's more similar. It appears to be a little less. So let's see. Turn that off and turn this one back on. Yeah. So even with 4x oversampling, it's still a smaller footprint than the original TAN, right? Let's see what it looks like with the others. This is the Hyper TAN double or Hyper double TAN at 4x. Let's engage that. All right. Still seems to be a little less than what we got with the original TAN. And if you are not familiar with what TAN is, and I'm probably going to butcher the name of the original piece of gear, it's an IGS multi-core or multi-band VCA compressor. And so what TAN is one band of that. So it kind of can give you some of those SSL type of feels on your signal. All right, so we're looking at, let's see, right in between the C and the E. And with this one, well, about the same area. And this is with the double plus 4x oversampling. All right, so enough of the geeky science stuff. Let's get to some what does this thing sound like? And I particularly have been using the 4x before the stream. I just like it, but we'll start with the 1x here. All right, so I'm gonna actually use this on, not gonna worry about bass right now. I want to use this on the new vocals that I just recorded. So got here, which is audio 1, which was supposed to have been the lead. And then we did just a quick little background vocals. Left, background vocals, right. And this is not going to be a long stream. I really just wanted to put this out there because it's it sounds good. All right, so what we got here? Let me re-engage my, well, yeah, I guess I can. So let me put my instruments back on here. Don't beat me over the head too tough about these scratch vocals I just put on there. They were real quick. Behold the moon amongst the sun and the stars. Don't go too soon. All right. So that's what we're going to dabble with. And then I'm going to add some drums to that live and see how Tan plays along with that. All right. So let's see. We are on the lead here. This guy here. It's saving. I'm going to do a lot of saving because, again, this thing has crashed on me. Cubase 12. And actually, what we'll do, we'll put the original Tan. You do want to hear, and I do want to show you the difference between the two. So let's go with the original Tan first, all right? Let's find something decent. And actually, here's what I'll do. There is a preset in here from a number of users. There was one in here for vocals. Where did it go? I used it briefly last night after work. Was it pop? Vocal lead pop, was that it? Let me see, I haven't neither used nor looked at the other ones. Back vocals hug, okay. Interesting. So these are the presets that pop vocal compression, that's the one. All right, so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take these settings, right? And I did find that there was a slight difference in the threshold as well, but I'm going to take these settings and I'm going to copy them over best I can here to the original Tan. And let's see here. This is 3.3.2. Schmod was just a little past 2. Oops. And then under 3. Now, I'm actually going to turn the high pass filter off here, or putting it at 0, because this does not have it in the original Tan. So we'll just see what it sounds like in that regard. And that may be what I was actually hearing as a difference from the threshold, but we'll see. Okay, let's see what we got here. So the original Tan, we want to make sure we turn this one off. And I will actually solo the lead. And you may hear all kind of noise, and I did no cleanup or anything on these. The door is open. You may hear traffic, all kind of stuff. I didn't even bother to even do any cleanups on this, so just bear with me. Behold the moon amongst the sun and the stars. Right, so we're getting somewhere around between 7 and 13 negative on the reduction. And then this one. Behold the moon is best if you turn it on. Yes. Behold the moon amongst the sun and the stars. I tell you what, we'll do one even better. I will duplicate this track. And then we will kill this instance, discard, and then we will kill this instance. All right. Save. That way both of them are running. They're both, see what I mean? Already. All right, so let me, last time I did save new version, it flunked out on me. Let's see. So bear with me. I'll reset this stupid thing. I blame that on Cubase more than anything. Cubase just always has just this weird out of the blue moment where you get a crash. Just it is what it is. And my mother isn't in chat. I can't hear you, Mom, but I see your chat. All right, so let us restart Cubase 12. And hopefully I can just pull up what just crashed. I'm gonna send that log file to Steinberg. They need to get that right. Whatever the problem is, they need to get that right. I knew it was gonna do that too. And you know, I have not checked to see how the stream is. Well, I can actually see it from here, but I don't know how it's playing back audio-wise. So while I'm waiting on Buddy here to reload. Okay, got that. Run over to the phone here. And how it's playing back audio-wise. All right, we're doing good. Okay, so we have TAN and TAN 2. And if I'm not mistaken, yes. So with Cubase, I can just select the track and swap between the two, right? So let's see here. Oops, that's not what I wanted to do. So I'm going to pull this one up, and I'm going to pull that one up. And TAN 2 is the second track. TAN 1 is the first track. Yes, yes. Okay. So I'm going to shut up, and I'm just going to flip back and forth between the two. And I want to see just how close they are as far as the gain reduction is. And if it needs some tweaking and try to get it even closer, I'll try to do that as well. But let's take a look. Behold the moon. That's track 1. Amongst the sun and the stars. Behold the moon amongst the sun and the stars. Behold the moon. Yeah, so you can hear it's a little more grabbier with the original one. Behold the moon. So let me pull this one down some. Let's see. Amongst the sun and the stars. It is just way more smoother, man. Way more refined sounding. Amongst the sun and the stars. Yes. So that was one of the things that that Acustica was mentioning as far as the attack times, was that they can get it a lot more smoother with a smaller footprint on the CPU. So far, I'm loving that, man. It doesn't, because Tan was always kind of like that you know that forgotten stepson, that I, you know, it was always there, and I may have used it a couple of times, but it just had this overly, like, literally the attack times were a little too grabby is not the word I'm really looking for, but it's just, it wasn't smooth, right? Now it's smooth with the smaller CPU footprint, oversampling. Man, this makes this, and again, if people are not aware, this is for free. This is sampled from a piece of actual hardware, and it's for free. All right, so at this point, I'm going to shut up. I'm going to dabble with this. So if you want to stick around, that's pretty much the review as far as the controls is concerned and the differences between the two. I'm going to go ahead and try to throw some drums on here and just throw Tan in places. Cubase may crash, so I'm not going to do a whole lot of talking. We're just going to let the thing work, and we're going to go from there. All right. Behold the moon amongst the sun and the stars. Behold the moon amongst the sun and the stars. Behold the moon amongst the sun and the stars. Behold the moon. Behold the moon amongst the sun. Behold, behold, behold. I need to check something here, because I did not see that. That makes a huge difference. Let's go back. I just noticed that the dry wet mix knob was below 100. So now I need to retest my, redo my test here. I want it to be as accurate as possible. So yeah, so I'm going to leave the dry wet at 100. All right. Behold the moon. Behold the moon. This is the original Tan, right? Amongst the sun and the stars. So 3, 4, 3, 3.2. Amongst the sun and the bring this back down. Behold the moon. It's still smoother. Behold. Behold. Yep. All right, let's try to match it again with the gain reduction. Behold. So that's still on negative 13. Behold. Yeah, so let's bring that down. Behold. 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 Behold the moon. Behold the moon. Interesting. Now, so I stand corrected. So at this point, it now I see why I was hearing something different. Behold the moon. Behold the moon. Right? Let's put it on 4x to see what's going on. Behold the moon. And it's not a one-to-one thing here, because again, looking at this versus this, right? Those are different. So I have to try to tweak this as much as I can to get it to match as far as the gain reduction. But it did appear to be similar. So then the biggest benefit you would get is the lower CPU usage with the newer version. Behold the moon. But we'll dig a little deeper once we get into things like drums, right? We'll really put it to its test. All right, so I'm going to disable this one and move on, like I said. The moon amongst the sun and the stars. Behold the moon amongst the sun and the stars. And you should add these without it playing, because I don't trust Cubase. It's that one. Don't get me wrong, I love Cubase. This is my DAW of choice for recording and composing. Not so much for mixing, though. Behold the moon amongst the sun and the stars. There was another preset I seen in here. Said something about background vocals. Back vocals hug. That's probably a bus function, but we'll see. They're using the dry wet extensively here. I'm going to put these on 4X. So far, CPU is still lighting the ass. That's good, man. See when they come in. Amongst the sun and the stars. All right, cool. Let us move on. Again, we had it on the bass track. Behold. Is that a bass track? Is anything even on that track right now? Let's see. Oh yeah, we do have something. Amongst the sun and the stars. Behold the moon. All right. So what I'm going to do now, let me turn my delay compensation on. And go some keys here. Got a few little things. I am not feeling that though. Let's see here. Browser. It's a Booney Mayfield here. Some different snare. Actually, I have I'm gonna swap you out with this guy. Behold the moon. And wow. The sun and the stars. I'm going to. Where you at? So we're here. And let me gain stage that kick. I have my meters set at -10 here, so that I'm always keeping my eye on that. Whoa. Okay, then we can do all our turn-ups from here. All right. Behold the moon. Hush, man. Amongst the sun and the stars. All right. Amongst the sun and the stars. Oh, I forgot. Don't have the keyboard working with this just yet. Early days, man. All right. So what do we have here? Kick. This is the hat. Yep. Okay. Hat. Now. Now, I'm going to turn up the, I think it's a little low. Give you a little volume here. Oh, yeah. There we go. That might be better. All right. I'm going to stop you for a second. I'm going to pull up TAN. 2. And turn off the delay compensation. Save. Pray. Good. Pray. Oh, look at that. Let's back up off of that. What's going on? And I apologize for that loud, peaky, whatever the hell that was that just came through there. I'm going to actually take that off. And we'll load up TAN manually. Don't get that again. All right. Good. Good. Save. Okay. Now I do have a default preset that that I saved for every time I load TAN. It was actually the vocal one. So actually, you know what? Let's just mess with the presets here. So at the top, we just have the limiter and the compressor settings. So we got bass compression, pop vocal, master rock, drum compression, mastering, synth bass, bass cranker, drum, okay, drum rape, music injection. Oh, I'm interested to see what sticky master bus sounds like. Warm Rhodes, much as I use Rhodes. Drum crush. So no, oh, yep, we got techno kick attacker. Kick and bass bus. Interesting. Let me see what this sounds like. Okay, I like that. That won't be doing too much with that, but a little more tighter. Okay. There. Save. A little more whip on the beginning of it. All right. I'll even add it to our flute. definitely giving it some life. And I got the headphones on, so I'm really like hearing the edges of the tones being affected. Let's see, what's this? So this is another. Thinking, I thought I seen something for synths. Let's see. Somebody's thought pattern was for that. Synth bass starter, okay. Music injection. I don't know what that is anyway, so we'll try that one. Parallel soft sticky. Let's see what this guy has here for synth bass starter. What is this about? All right. And I think that is it. I got horns in here. That's something else though. All right. So let me turn these on. And we doing what I read many years ago, putting compression on everything. All right, so mute. Behold the moon amongst the sun. Whoa, buddy, you're a little too loud. Amongst the sun and the stars, behold the moon. Amongst the sun and the stars, behold the moon. And while we're at it, you, right click. Effects channel. I'm really pushing it, trying to add only Acustica stuff here, but let's try it and pray. Cubase 11.5 was fine. I didn't have any issues outside of some VST3 issues with a number of plugins, including Acustica. So it's a Cubase issue because I've got VST3 stuff loading and some VST3 stuff is not. So I don't know what's going on with Steinberg in that regards. But anyway, let's see here. Okay, so now we're on the send section. Let's just close you out. Amongst the sun. Where are you, good friend? You're down here. So we will move you over here. Okay. Amongst the sun. Yes, if I remember. This might have been an issue with this one. The mini one was working though. Amongst the sun and the stars. There we go. Amongst the sun and the stars, behold the moon. Amongst the sun and the stars, behold the moon. Amongst the sun and the stars, behold the moon. Amongst the sun and the stars. All right, so let's see what this thing does on the master bus. Let me save. And let's check out some presets here. There was that one sticky master bus. Where'd you go, friend? I know I wasn't imagining that. sure I pass it right up. Oops. There we go. Sticky glue master. Amongst the sun and the stars, behold the moon. Amongst the sun and the stars, behold the moon. Amongst the sun and the stars, behold. Well, I will say this will definitely get a lot more usage out of me now that they've updated it to version 2. I'm really excited about the up and coming updates for the Aqua line with the new hyper compression technology in it. That and the continual reduction in CPU munching, so to speak, that Acustica has been mentioning over the last couple of weeks. Yeah, so, but that's it, man. I just wanted to, post this out here. Don't forget, this is free. All right. So in order to get this, you have to download the Aquarius app. Make sure you also sign up at acusticaaudio.com. I think it's acustica-audio.com. Make sure you sign up because you do have to have an account. Then download Aquarius, and this will be in your account to download and install. And again, remember, these are sampled from actual hardware pieces, actual analog hardware pieces. They're not algorithmic in the way that many of us are used to. So they offer a little something different than most other plugins. All right. Outside of that, if you have found anything useful on this video, give it a like. And if you want to see more, make sure you hit that subscribe button. And until next time, I'll see you on the next video. Stay tuned.